Good Maven morning. I am so sorry I'm late. It looked like it started and then it was like, just kidding. You didn't start anything. So, hey girl, hey. Oh my gosh, what a day. If you don't know me, I'm Olivia Denson Thomas, the brand counselor helping you go from hustling to wholeness, brand strategy. And I should probably go check and see that this is streaming everywhere it's supposed to be streaming. Because sometimes it doesn't, which is fun technology quirk, right? Um, yeah, you can't change that. Facebook is really weird. It's not letting me actually post it publicly. It's just only letting me post it to myself. And I guess people will see it in post. All right, no big deal. No big deal. They might just not be one of the things I do live. Um, Interesting. So, hey girl, hey. I wanted to talk a little bit about launching and growing with your flaws on display because you can't not. Um, so a lot of these things that I talk about are obviously things that I go through, but they're definitely things that I talk with clients about a lot because once you have the clarity of your branding, like when you have your business, you're operating, you're moving, you're kind of like just kind of going. But once you have the clarity of your branding, you have to stop and think about what actually matters, what aligns, and what pushes you forward in a way that you actually want to be pushed forward. So, one of the funny things about us, women, business owners, Black women, business owners, Black women and friends, business owners, right, is doing something is one thing. Doing something that is supposed to look like something is entirely different, right? Because now that it is defined that it is supposed to look like something, there is like a fear that you won't actually live up to those things. Like you haven't really necessarily wanted to look like something before. Before you were just kind of like moving because moving is what you should do. And it's what you know, right? So now that it's defined and it's supposed to look like you, and maybe you haven't even defined you prior to, this moment, this like little bit of you that you can have defined, through the process of branding, it gets scary. Because now you start to like measure it in like a crazy way where it's like, well, I can't live up to this. This is too big. This isn't me. Because the thing about having a brand is this is you basically declaring that you believe the thing that you're doing is going to grow. It's going to be big. It's going to be impactful. And it is, right? Like any company you see now started off as something small, but it intentionally grew over time. And like on purpose, right? Someone named a thing. Someone recognized that people need this, so they're going to start talking about this thing more. Like someone recognized that they're good at this, so they really started packaging it and pushing it out into the world more, right? Like all of this is very intentional action, which means that you are putting in real effort into the thing. When we don't have clarity, we can always just kind of like spin our wheels and say, I'm doing the best I can, right? It's like it doesn't look effortful because you're just doing the best you can. And when you're just doing the best you can, if something good comes of it, it's like, yeah, of course. Like, I'm cool like that. I didn't even try, right? But if something bad happens, you can always say, oh man, like, I wasn't trying anyway, so, you know, no need to even care that I missed, right? That's the thing about hope. When you have hope, Like there is such a thing as missing, but it's not bad. It's actually tuning the way that you move next time. So today I kind of wanted to talk about what it looks like and what it feels like to like launch, grow, and build like with your flaws on display. So perfectionism is a delay tactic, right? And it looks like excellence because people understand this idea of perfectionism. It's like, oh, they want to show up. They want to show up so well all the time. They have a standard that they want to keep. And having a standard is extremely important, but not to the point where nothing ever goes out, right? It has to look good. It has to be perfect, but it never goes out. If it never goes out, it's not effective, right? It might be efficient, but we'll never know. It's not effective if no one can actually touch it or use it or actually engage in it. So you are perfectly looking for ways to hide. Like you can't do that. It is delay. Eventually, if you want to know whether or not a thing is going to work, like you have to put it out, right? There's a very fine line between refinement and resistance. So resistance is the internal and external force that makes you not do the things that you are supposed to do. Um, and we know external resistance, right? Like we have people saying things, we have like computers dying, we have just like all kinds of like technical and personal obstacles. But perfectionism, this is an internal obstacle. Like refinement can actually be an internal obstacle as well, right? Where you're constantly just saying, I'm not enough, I'm not enough, I'm not enough, or I'm entirely too much. And I have to distill this down to something that is palatable for other people. You don't know what is palatable for other people until you actually put it out there to to test it, right? So you have to put it out with whatever features it has. I can't remember what company it was, and I probably talk about this a lot. I think it was Microsoft who launched a thing. Can't remember what the thing was, and it had a bunch of bugs. It had about 3,000 bugs constantly. They were just constantly finding bugs, but they launched it, and the copy was 3,000 new features. They named their bugs features and more discovered every day, right? So they're discovering the bugs the same way you're discovering the bugs too. But instead of saying, like, oh man, everything is kind of burning, they put the thing out and discovered what worked, what didn't work, and made corrections on the run, right? It's like building the plane while you're falling because they had to do it. If they waited to fix all 3,000 bugs, the thing you're doing isn't perfect. The thing I'm doing isn't perfect. Like, it's not going to be perfect. There's no such thing. The question is it functional and can it get the job done? And can you refine it over time? That's really the thing you need to be thinking about. So don't let the perfectionism mask your fear. It's okay. Like not being understood, it's okay. Someone's going to understand. Someone is going to understand. And it might not be the people you think understand. A lot of us are looking for people we know currently to say, like, oh, good job, right? We're actually looking for validation in the work that we're doing from people who currently see and know us. Um, and that's not what having a business is about. Having a business is not about validation, like personal validation. Like it's about solving problems and like living in alignment with your calling, right? And like doing something that you can do that feeds the building of life with other people, right? Like it's not it's not about people saying like, "Oh, you're doing a great job," right? I think award season is funny Because now we have like what just passed the Emmys, the Tonys, and BET Awards, and all those different kinds of things. And I think Jonathan McReynolds was replying about like a gospel artist, like a strict gospel artist, not getting the gospel award. And he was like, well, the point is not to get an award. The point is to be obedient, right? The point is to continue doing the work that you're supposed to do so you don't fall off. So you bring about the thing that you are supposed to bring about, not necessarily that someone else validates you. Of course, validation is great. And I still like tell clients to submit for awards and things like that because, it helps with the corroboration. I'm still a PR girl, right? Um, but it's still not the point. Like, you're not building this thing so someone else can validate you. You're building it so you can validate someone else and help them to work through whatever their problem is that they otherwise would not be able to um, to work through without your existence. I think readiness, I think perfection for many of us feels like a moral position, right? You feel like you are a good person if you are ready, if the things are clean, if the things are flowing smoothly, right? It shows favor if everything works really well. Um, and that's not true. Like, the favor is getting in there with the messy thing and seeing what happens. Like, if it's perfect, then there is no room for for a miracle, right? There's no room for surprise. There's no room for figuring out like what else is there for you to actually capitalize on or deliver to people or like experience. Like, perfectionism kills the experience of growth and good, right? So like doing something without flaws doesn't make you like morally impervious. Like, it just kind of stunts your growth. Like, it makes it impossible for you to actually like figure out if there's more for you in the moment, right? Because if the thing is perfect, and if in your mind you're like it's perfect, and you are holding it on the pedestal of perfection, like it is flawless, then when there are opportunities for growth that come, you are way less likely to actually say like, oh, you know what, you're right, like this is an opportunity for me to take and change and build and all those different kinds of things. Because if you come to this place of perfection in your mind, then there is no way to grow. There's nothing else you can do. And your mind will start resisting this idea that there's anything else that you can do. So there really is like no way to grow. And you become defensive. And when someone's like, it's not good enough, and you're just like, ah, it's perfect though. What do you mean? There's no chance for expansion when you think perfection, when you think doing the thing in a flawless way is like a moral high ground, and that proves that you are what you say you are and who you say you are. Like, no, that's weird. Like, there's always room to grow, and if we operate in the mindset that I'm going to do what I can now and continue to grow into it, there's more room for improvement. It's better. It's better. You know what I mean? Iteration is integrity, right? To repeat and to learn and to continue to figure out what alignment looks like, right? Integrity comes with the process of iteration because you are learning how to make something solid. Nothing comes out solid. Even babies are born like water. Like, I always think about that. When babies are born, like their bones are still like, pliable, right? Obviously, so they can be born. And there is a period of their life where they are soft. So they are less likely, not impossible, like don't like hurt babies, but they're less likely to be like hurt or damaged in the long run because their bodies are still in such like a liquid form, viscous form, that they can heal, that they can heal. That's the same thing for your business, right? Like there is a period where like, it's not really stable yet. So there is a lot of leeway for healing. If something happens, that's an accident, not something on purpose. If something happens that's an accident, there is space to like say, "Oh man, that's crazy. Didn't mean to do that." And then continue to grow, right? And that's integrity too. Saying, owning the fact that the flaws happened, something missed, something didn't go right, right? And then you get to iterate again and again and again until that thing fills in. That's huge. It's such an opportunity. You get to have feedback from people to fuel your growth, right? And not feel like it's a failure. For a lot of people, feedback feels like failure um, because you feel like you let someone down when you had to receive feedback. Feedback is always kind of like, come into my office and close the door, or go to the principal's office, or all those little things. um this just came to me. For some people, like their parents didn't talk to them um unless it was correction. like like not for relationship, not for like training, not for growth, like not for any of those things. It's like you're only really talking, having a real conversation, like if it's about correction and saying that something wrong was done, right? And like even in some businesses it's like that too. Like if I'm not saying anything to you, then you're doing a good job. Like, but if I have to say something to you, then you're not doing a good job. I've heard that before, and it's just like that's weird. I mean, for whoever it works for, right? So let me be very specific in saying that for you, as you are building, feedback is fuel. So to understand the good, the bad, and the ugly allows you to say, oh, let me remove this, let me put this back in, or say, hey, you know what? This might not be my audience. And then pivot to somebody else who might actually understand or have the need that you're trying to like fulfill, right? So feedback can also help you to position properly. Like all of these things are important to help you tune what your business and your deliverables and your delivery actually look like. Um, and lastly, you don't owe anyone perfection, right? Perfection doesn't make you whole. Like the only thing that is really required of you is to pursue wholeness. Those are not the same things. Um, being perfect for someone, it's not really about being liked, right? It's not being about being universally liked. It's about being connective and inspiring. I think a lot of us, like for years, people have talked about build in public. And the fear of building in public is that people will see, behind, under the hood and behind the mask. Um, but that's where the magic actually happens. If we talk only about the results and if we talk only about how like good we are, of course, that's awesome because people love a product or a service that like works. Um, and that's what testimonials are for, right? Third party corroboration, testimonials speak for you about what has happened for other people. So collect your testimonials. I'm speaking to myself as well. I am terrible at collecting testimonials. So I'm going to actually send those emails out today. Collect those testimonials and showcase those, but also like storyboard your communication in a way where it's like you talk about the business, you talk about the process and you talk about yourself as the founder who is growing and changing, right? Because people actually do want to see that you are a person in pursuit. When you are a person in pursuit, the business is also in pursuit. Like there is something that is growing here that is going to take into account their imperfections, right? That is going to take into account that they have needs that are growing and changing too. So it's okay. It's okay to be in pursuit of understanding yourself using this thing. Like your business is a tool for edification. Like you get to grow because you're doing things. We don't actually get to grow in silos or in silence. We get to grow through the actions and through the intentionality of like putting something out, testing, refining, figuring it out and doing it over and over again, right? So you get to be an even better version of you because you embrace the fact that you have flaws and because you worked on them. You can't work on something that you don't actually acknowledge. It doesn't work that way. Like things don't magically go away because you don't talk about them. Like that is the hellish circumstance that so many people find themselves in, where instead of actually addressing that something is wrong or something can be fixed, there is just like a spiral of silence, right? Where where we don't talk about that. We don't talk about that here. We don't talk about, the fact that, there's imperfection over here or that this isn't working or whatever. Like it's shame. It's shame, it's fear, it's hiding, and it's not serving you, right? So the only way to honor and work toward your wholeness is to actually embrace the flaws in the process and and give yourself enough room um to keep growing. This morning it hit me again, just like the importance of grit, grace, and gratitude. I have these t-shirts and I used to always post it. I need to post it again. Like grit, grace, and gratitude, right? You're building a thing and you need grit. You need to hold on because it's not easy. Grace, you need to have forgiveness for yourself in the process. You need to give yourself some room to actually grow. And gratitude, understanding that the journey is the journey and just being thankful for it every day, right? Like that is the key to actually making a lot of this work in a way where you're not, holding tightly to every single moment to validate you, where you're not like just trying to show up in a way that seems perfect, but on the inside, like it's shaky. It's shaky on the inside because you won't let anyone in to actually help you put up better pillars, right? Like, I don't know if you've seen like a dilapidated building, and you probably have, where maybe the outside looks stable, it looks great, but there are warning signs everywhere. Because it's like, listen, bro, if you go inside of this, anything that is load bearing, anything that actually holds the building up, might not be there. So the likelihood of collapse is huge. Your business, yourself, it's the same. The likelihood of collapse is huge if you never let anyone in to examine it and not just kind of into play, right? Like that's extremely personal for me because I know in the beginning, there were times when I was so stuck in this idea that I had to like look good. And I did. And I invited people in. And when good didn't happen, I didn't know how to handle it. And I freaked out and I disappeared, right? Like, because the idea of being perfect, being flawless was really just what it was supposed to be. No one should ever see that you're struggling. No one should ever see that you don't know how to do this. But I didn't know how to do this. I only had I only had a certain level of like understanding of how to deliver and how to support myself to deliver and how to ask for help. Asking for help just came recently. So, high five to me for even getting there. Seriously, what is that bird? Um, um, so things collapsed. Things collapsed on other people because I was afraid to say, like, ooh, I'm doing this. Let me hear your feedback. Let me fix it. Right. I wasn't allowing myself to actually be flawed. I wasn't allowing myself to say, hey, I need another moment. Let me figure it out. Right. Like none of those things happened at the time. And there are people out there who don't like me. And I get it. I absolutely get it, right? Because at the time, I didn't like me. I didn't know me. I didn't actually have any connection to myself other than this idea that I was supposed to show up in perfection. But that's not a real person. That's not a real person. That's a doll. And dolls are hollow, right? Have you ever like a doll? They're hollow, right? I was hollow at the time. If you're going to run a business, you can't just be hollow. You actually have to have something working on the inside, allowing you to know that, like, yes, the facade should look good, but there's no such thing as perfection. Like, you're still in process, you're still growing. And, and that's great. All right, flaws and all, go launch it, go grow in it, go try it. Like, and this is at all levels of business. Like, I think there does come a point where like you have gained a reputation where people already believe and like know one thing about you, and so you don't want to shake that. But then that kills growth, that kills innovation, that kills any change that you can make. Going forward, you can't refine. Like you can't actually refine and do better business if you are stuck in this idea that we have it already. This is how it's always been done, right? Like we've all heard that. I remember I worked somewhere and I would say, hey, let's try this. And they would say, huh, interesting. Why don't we do it this way? And it was pretty much the way they'd done it before. So nothing changed. So nothing changed. And I was eventually laid off because they were like, nothing changed. I was like, yeah, that's crazy that nothing changed when nothing changed. Nothing changes when nothing changes. So if you want sustainability requires change. Um, you got to do it. If you're talking about a building, sometimes you have to repair the masonry over time, and you have to maybe replace some of the stones. It happens. It's good. Anyway, I'm gonna go. I hope you have a good Maven morning. If you want to work with me, I will drop the details in the comments. I'm here to help you get clarity for your alignment, and I'm excited to do so. So, all that to say, stay intentional, keep flourishing. Bye.